A conservative Trump-backed candidate just pulled off a major upset in Poland's presidential elections. CNN literally can't believe just how bad polling numbers are for Democrats. And was Joe Biden caught lying about his cancer diagnosis? We'll get to all of that and much more in today's video. But first, we turn to Poland, where Karol Nawrocki pulled off a Trump 2016. Now, not only was he endorsed by President Trump, but he embraces Trump's philosophy so deeply that crowds at his rallies actually began chanting Donald Trump's name.
Will oppose illegal migration. We will stop the anti-American change in Europe.
Będziemy opierać się nielegalnej imigracji i będziemy opierać się antyamerykańskiej polityce w Europie.
Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump! Donald Trump!
Donald Trump! So in order to win the election in Poland, you actually have to win a majority of the vote. So 50% plus at least one vote. So yesterday, June 1st, was the runoff because no one reached that threshold in the first round. And Nawrocki was widely expected to lose. Just take a look at this tabloid published right before the election. You can see here they expected he would get 49.7%. So basically losing the election by 0.6 percentage points. But the results were a lot different. Nawrocki came up on top with 50.9%, well ahead of the projected estimates. The liberal challenger there at 49.1%. It was really similar to Trump 2016. So for those of you who remember the New York Times election needle, you know, that needle that went back and forth, this will look really familiar. This is from Polymarket. So at 9 o'clock, 9:30 p.m., Nawrocki in blue had a 10% probability, 10% chance of winning. But right as that 10 p.m. hour came around, his odds of winning skyrocketed. And they definitely, over in Poland, felt exactly what we felt here in the States in 2016, and the media felt the exact same thing. Just look at their faces. At 9 p.m., all happy, and then at 11 p.m., all sunken and just downtrodden and really upset. I tried to download the video, but the website wouldn't let me, but it is just absolutely hilarious. But stateside, of course, the media here is covering it. Over on MSNBC, you can tell they're very upset that the Trump-backed conservative candidate was able to pull off a Trump-sized upset.
Now to Poland, where a Trump-backed candidate just won the presidential election. NBC's Danielle Hamamdjian is reporting on that. Tell us about the new president there.
Yeah, Chris, Karol Nawrocki is 42 years old, a right-wing historian who trained as a boxer and has never held office before. During the campaign, he tried to present himself as a tough guy with posting images of himself at shooting ranges and boxing rings. It's been described as a victory for European conservatives inspired by Donald Trump. Nawrocki was mostly an unknown 6 months ago. In the final days of the campaign, there were numerous allegations regarding his contacts in the criminal underworld involving gangsters and prostitutes, but clearly those accusations did not harm him. A while back on X, he said media slander did not destroy President Trump, and he will not destroy Karol Nawrocki either. And Poland, of course, is a key country for both NATO and the EU. And so for its allies, this is not good news. Nawrocki has criticized what he said was excessive interference in Polish affairs by the European Union. Chris.
Danielle Hamamdjian, thank you.
Yeah. I think that proves that President Trump is a lot more popular than the Democrats give him credit for. Look, the Democrats tried to tell us that President Trump is a joke, the rest of the world doesn't respect us, and we're no longer the shining city on a hill, right? But if there's anything to learn from Poland's election, it's that the rest of the world looks up to a strong America. It's that there's nothing wrong with patriotism. There's nothing wrong with wanting strong borders. And it has nothing to do with hating immigrants or immigration. It's about making sure people come here the right way, people assimilate and share our values, because that's exactly what they're struggling with, not only in Poland, but all of Europe, right? The open, porous borders and letting in thousands and millions of people who are going to radically shape not just the government and balance of power, but culture at large. Now, you may have noticed that MSNBC talked about all the smear tactics that were used against Nawrocki. And to me, that says that liberals, not just in the United States, but around the world, use the exact same smear in the gutter, lowbrow tactics to destroy their opponents. Whatever they did against President Trump, they attempted against Nawrocki, but like I said earlier, he pulled off a 2016. Well, speaking of immigration and just lies told by the left and the media, there have been a lot of lies about ICE. You may have seen the left complaining, why is ICE wearing masks, right? Whenever they do these raids and these deportations. The left and the media is claiming that ICE is wearing face masks because they know what they're doing is wrong. They know that they're no different from the Nazis or from brown shirts, and it's no different than sending people to gulags and concentration camps, right? That's why they're wearing face masks, to hide their identity, so they don't get judged poorly in history. Well, I'm sure most of you know that's not why they wear face masks, but in case anyone is confused, ICE Director Todd Lyons debunked this himself when the media refused to let go of the narrative during a press briefing. Take a look.
I'm going to answer the mask question. So, no, not the mask, the mask. So, a lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorists?
That is 100% a great point. And we obviously are living in an era of political violence, not just against President Trump, but we've seen it against Republicans. Remember what happened to Rand Paul or the shooting at the baseball field? This has happened again and again and again. For whatever reason, it seems to be lopsided. Republicans are oftentimes the targets, more so than Democrats in all of these cases. And, you know, it's really funny, right? Because we have the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine protesters, many of them, when they're rioting, are wearing face masks. The media doesn't care. They don't look into it at all. And it's very clear why those people wear face masks, right? Because they don't want to be identified and held accountable by law enforcement. But when law enforcement is actually threatened by radical leftists, when their family members and their children are being exposed online, and to protect their identities, they put on face masks, the left tries to turn this into, they just use everything they can to try to paint the worst picture possible, and it is a complete joke. So last Friday, Joe Biden made his first appearance since his cancer diagnosis was made public. And all of the conversation, even by the mainstream media, was focused on look how frail he is or how creepy he is, because he got really close to a female reporter, right? And obviously there's the discussion about his cognitive decline. But I'm really surprised that no one picked up on the inconsistency when it comes to his cancer diagnosis. Listen closely to what he says in this clip.
You look good. You look good. Well, the prognosis is good. You know, we're working on everything. It's moving along. So I feel good.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. And they're underway. And all the folks are very optimistic.
And so you've started treatment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to share what exactly that entails?
Well, it's all a matter of taking a pill, one particular pill, and for the next 6 weeks and then another one. And the expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. It's my bones are strong. I haven't penetrated, so I'm feeling good.
So
I feel like everybody expects. Sorry.
I've done it all.
A lot is wrong with that clip, and it actually directly contradicts what we were told. So Joe says his bones are good and they haven't been penetrated by the cancer, but take a look at the statement released by his own team, the second sentence. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis to the bone. So in other words, it has penetrated the bone, and he says it hasn't affected his organs. The prostate is an organ. Prostate cancer is a cancer of one of your organs. I mean, maybe the media is ignoring this because maybe it's a slip of the mouth because of his cognitive decline. But look, I'm not doubting that he has prostate cancer, and obviously I wish him well. I would never wish ill on anyone, even with someone I think was an awful president and someone I disagree with, like politically, like just on a human level. I do wish him recovery. But given all of the lies that we were told by his administration, his campaign, and the media, we have every right to question everything. It's not about being critical for the sake of politics or divisiveness or partisanship, but we were told for so long that he was sharp as a tack. He's doing cartwheels behind the scenes when obviously he was in decline. So right here we have two different stories. Are his bones fine, or did it metastasize to the bones? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But the mainstream media, led by CNN and Jake Tapper, are claiming that they've learned their lesson. Oh, they were so fooled. How did they miss the biggest political story and cover-up of the century? And yet you have a contradiction here right in your face, and no one in that exact same media that supposedly learned their lesson is questioning it. In today's video, I would like to recognize Corby33, Shine On to Santos, Terry, Don Huravan, and Coyote Gray Sr. as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who have given tips or super thanks to the channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. So Michelle Obama's podcast has been doing very poorly. She only has 200,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which of course is more than what I have, but I'm a nobody, and she is the former First Lady of the United States. That, just to put into perspective how bad she's doing. I have 120,000 subscribers. She has 200,000 subscribers, and one of us is known on a national level. Well, she had the audacity to say that a woman's reproductive system, giving birth, is like the least important part of that reproductive system. Here is Michelle Obama in her own words.
Because so many men have no idea about what women go through, right? We haven't been researched, we haven't been considered, and it affects the way a lot of male lawmakers, a lot of male politicians, a lot of male religious leaders think about the issue of choice as if it's just about the fetus, the baby. But women's reproductive health is about our life. It's about this whole complicated reproductive system that does the least of what it does is produce life. It's a very important thing that it does, but you only produce life if the machine that's producing it, if you want to, whittle us down to a machine, if the machine is functioning in a healthy, streamlined kind of way. But there is no discussion or apparent connection between the two.
To minimize and dismiss the biological miracle that is the creation of life is such a gross and perverse mischaracterization of the reproductive system. And quite frankly, it's a bastardization of what feminism, the good kind, the original kind, was aiming to achieve. But that sort of take, of course, we should not be surprised. It's coming from the side that can't even define what a woman is. And that's why Democrats are polling worse than ever before. New polling numbers came out this morning, and CNN was just in shock. They actually ran this poll hour after hour, pundit after pundit, program after program. But the best take on it was from Harry Enten, who was just apoplectic about how terrible these numbers are for Democrats. Now, it's not about reproductive health. It is more about economic vision and policy. But, the Democrats are just in disarray all around. Here's what Harry Enten had to say.
After all of the waves, Kate Baldwin, after the last few months, the first 5 months of the Donald Trump presidency, right, the first 4 months of the Donald Trump presidency, that you expect that Democrats would have this massive lead on the economy. It ain't so. It ain't so. The party that is closest to your economic views, in November of 2023, it was the Republicans by 11 points. Now it's still within that range, still within that margin of error. Plus 8-point advantage for the Republican Party. How is that possible, Democrats? How is that possible after all the recession fears, after the stock market's been doing all of this, after all the tariffs that Americans are against, and Republicans still hold an 8-point lead on the economy? Are you kidding me? If it was just this one CNN poll, that would be one thing. But take a look at Reuters Ipsos. What do we see here? Party with a better economic plan. Well, in May of 2024, just before Donald Trump was reelected president, Republicans had a 9-point advantage. Look at where we are now in May of 2025. The advantage actually went up by 3 points. Now Republicans have a 12-point advantage. when it comes to the party with a better economic plan. And again, this is after months of supposed economic uncertainty in which the stock market's been going bonkers, in which the tariff wars that Americans are against have been going on. And yet, despite all of that, the Democrats are down by 12 points on the economy. This speaks to Democratic problems on the economy better than basically anything that you could possibly look at. The Republicans still hold an advantage on the all-important key issue of the day.
And look, if we go back to the original topic of the video, Nawrocki winning in a huge upset in Poland, this just shows that the left is not just in disarray here in America, but they are in disarray all around the globe, and even, yes, in Europe. My heart truly goes out to all of them. Oh, where did that come from? Yeah, my heart goes out to the left. Where's the outrage over that? I mean, we had nonstop coverage over Elon Musk sending his heart out earlier this year, yet Cory Booker can do the exact same thing. No one cares. Just saying. Just saying. As always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So, Joe Biden contradicting his team's own statement on his cancer. Obviously, cancer is a serious issue, and I don't want to take it lightly. But what do you think is going on there? Do you think he misspoke because of his cognitive decline? Do you think he lied because, you know, he can't keep up with the truth? Do you think he's not getting all the facts from his team, perhaps because of that decline? Like, what do you think is going on there? Because we're being told two different things. Either it has penetrated his bones or it hasn't penetrated his bones. There's just no way those two statements can coexist. So I'd like to know your thoughts on what's going on. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Obviously, I am traveling. I will be in this setting for the week. As you can see, a piano is behind me. For those of you who've been here for a while, you know that I play. I'm working on a very difficult, basically I'm entering a concerto competition later this year, to hopefully play with the Philharmonic. So I'm working really hard on that. But if I have some time, if y'all have any song requests, leave them down in the comments below. And if time allows, I'll do some fun covers for you all this week. If you haven't already, please sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.